"Sir, she's too weak to beg," the little girl said. Then the CEO looked into the trunk and froze. The rain poured mercilessly, blurring the city lights into streaks of gold and gray. On a quiet street outside a luxury hotel, a young girl, no older than 8, stood shivering under the weak glow of a broken street lamp. Her clothes were torn, her face pale, and her bare feet were bruised from walking on the cold pavement. "Sir, please," she whispered, her voice barely audible as she tugged on the sleeve of a tall man dressed in an immaculate black suit. He turned sharply, clearly annoyed, but when his cold eyes met hers, something in them flickered. "Go home, little one. This isn't a place for you," the man said with a dismissive tone. But the girl didn't let go. Instead, she looked up at him, her eyes glistening with tears and fear. "Sir, she's too weak to beg now," she said. Her voice trembled as if speaking those words cost her all the strength she had left. The man paused. "Who?" The girl pointed toward the rusty, abandoned car parked near the alley. "In there, my mother, she's not waking up." At that moment, something shifted inside him. A powerful CEO, Alexander Reed, known for his ruthless business tactics and cold-hearted decisions, suddenly felt his breath catch. His expensive shoes splashed into the muddy puddles as he hurried to the car. He opened the trunk, and froze. Inside, lying on a thin, dirty blanket, was a woman, frail and pale, barely breathing. Her face was hollow, her lips cracked, and she clutched the girl's torn scarf like it was her last connection to life. A past he couldn't forget. Alexander stood there, unable to move. Memories from his own past, memories he had buried deep beneath success and money, rushed back. He remembered being that child, standing by his mother's side, both of them hungry and hopeless. He remembered watching her collapse in the middle of the street as she tried to earn enough to feed him. The girl's trembling voice broke his trance. "Please, sir. I tried to get food, but they chased me away. She hasn't eaten since yesterday." Alexander's throat tightened. Without thinking, he picked up the woman and gently carried her to his black limousine parked nearby. "Driver, to the nearest hospital. Now." A struggle for life. The hospital staff rushed to take the woman in. The little girl clung to Alexander's suit as if he was the only anchor in a storm. "Will she be okay?" she asked, her voice barely holding together. "She will," he said firmly, though his heart raced with fear. As hours passed, Alexander learned the truth. The woman, Maria, had been working as a cleaner, but after a workplace accident, she lost her job and couldn't pay rent. She and her daughter, Lily, had been living in their car for weeks, surviving on scraps. The hospital bills were high, and Maria needed days of care to regain her strength. Alexander signed every paper without hesitation. The staff looked at him in surprise. This was the man who once negotiated every penny in his business deals, yet here he was, throwing money to save a stranger. A bond that changed him. For the next few days, Alexander visited Maria and Lily every evening. Lily, shy at first, began to warm up to him. She would wait by the hospital's glass doors, holding a tiny drawing she had made for him. One night, as they sat by Maria's bedside, Lily said, "You look like a hero in my stories." Alexander chuckled softly. "I'm no hero, Lily. I just don't want anyone to feel the pain I once felt." The turning point. Maria eventually woke up, her weak voice thanking Alexander with tears streaming down her face. "I don't know how to repay you," she whispered. "You don't have to," Alexander said gently. "Just promise me you'll keep fighting for her." But when Maria and Lily were discharged, Alexander noticed something that broke him again. They had nowhere to go. He could have just given them some money and walked away. But he didn't. A new beginning. Alexander arranged an apartment for them and even offered Maria a job at one of his companies, but not out of pity, because he saw strength in her eyes. "You've fought this far. "I need people like you," he said. For Lily, he set up a scholarship. She would study in the best school, something Alexander had always dreamed of as a child. The CEO who changed. The encounter with Maria and Lily transformed Alexander. He started foundations for struggling families and single mothers, building shelters and schools. In every speech he gave afterward, he would recall the night when a little girl tugged on his sleeve and said, "Sir, she's too weak to beg." Lily often visited his office, bringing drawings of the three of them together. "You saved us," she'd say. But Alexander knew the truth: they had saved him. The message. Life can harden even the kindest heart, but sometimes, all it takes is one act of courage, one small voice pleading for help, to remind us that compassion is more powerful than wealth. As Alexander stood years later, watching Lily graduate with honors, he realized that the true measure of success isn't how much you earn, but how much you give.